Vanakkam, Namaste, Namaskar. Welcome back to Jal Prayag. I'm proceeding with this. The latest series, what I started was with lights. So I'm going to do part two of that today. Just as a quick reminder for you people, the number of videos are slowly increasing. So sometimes searching these videos can become a little bit of hassle. So I suggest please always go to the playlist. And you can see this series of lights I've put as chart work and lights. So you can find all the episodes of lights in that particular playlist. So that will help you to search, and as well as is a kind of more organized way as the number of videos are increasing. Now, what I did on the last episode was I talked about general character or different rhythm and patterns of lights. But there are two types of lights which are slightly tricky to understand, and particularly for BSc, DNS people, and sometimes the second mates also, who did not get a good opportunity to compare what was in the chart and on the real life as far as those lights were concerned. What are those? Those are basically color sectors and as well as the visible obscured sectors. So that is what is the title today. You can see I've mentioned as colors and the visible obscured sectors. So I'm going to give you examples of how to decipher whatever the character is given to you in the chart. What exactly should you expect out of this color and visible obscure sectors? They both are different, so I'm going to deal with examples for each one of them. What I'm going to start is, let me start with the color sector. So I'm going to take an example from the chart. This is one of the light which is occulting light. You can see a lot of circles, then dashed lines are marked. So I'm going to make it look simple. So let us look at the character first. So you can see there is a first set of character written like this. I'm going to mention all those things in the next slide. There's a second set of character also. And then in addition, I have something else associated with this lighthouse. So I've got around three main different characters to discuss about. So let us do one by one. We'll start with the first one, which is written flashing 15 seconds, 31 meters, and 24 nautical miles. Let us start with that. If you realize this lighthouse has got two lights involved, so I'm going to deal one by one. Let us start with the first one. So I've just marked with yellow color. Obviously, I told you yellow color represents white light. And this was the character given on the chart. So we'll see one by one what is. FL, yeah, it is flashing. Since the color was not mentioned, so it is a white light. 15 seconds was the time period. So again, as a recap, if this is the dark, which is off time, so I'll get one white flash, then 15 seconds to the start of the next white flash, and so on. So this is your normal flashing. Then after that, it was 31 meters, which is a charted height, and 24 nautical miles is your nominal range. This was the first light, please remember. But there are two lights involved. I'm going to look at the second light now. This first light was pretty simple. There's nothing. It is all around. Wherever it is possible, you can see all around your horizon or the azimuth. But the second one, let's look at the second light. You can see in the right-hand side structure, I've still maintained the first light. Why? Because the second light is slightly different. It is given as ISO phase, white, red, green, then 4 seconds, then RC, and there are numbers. I'm going to look at those numbers a little bit differently. So it is an ISO phased sector lights. We've already seen what is the meaning of ISO phase. If you really want to know about different characters, please go to the part one of the same lights. Have a look on that and please come here. It will be much easier to understand and systematic. So I'm giving you those three lights, which are isophase, white, red, and green. They are completely different from the top light. And how do you recognize that? It was very easy actually. When you see the first light, it was 31 meters, and you can see this one is 30 meters. So I'm going to mention about that a little bit. Let us see what is isophase. So it is on, white light is on, equally off period, again on, equally off period, again on, and so on. The same thing happens to the red sector also. Isophase red sector, then the isophase green sector. Okay, these are flashing at different sectors, so it is not at the same place. 4 seconds is the time period. So as per normal definition, first start to the second start is 4 seconds. And please look at this. This is 30 meters charted height, and the first top light was 31 meters. So effectively, I got about a meter difference vertically between the first light, which is a normal flashing light, and this isophase flashing. So this is the difference between the two lights. So the two different complete lights are there with different characters. So what is the 16, 13, and 12? 16 is nominal range of white light, 16 nautical miles. Nominal range of red light is 13 nautical miles. And nominal range of green light is 12 nautical miles. You will always see whenever these different colors of lights are there, white will be always the maximum. The maximum outreach is for the white. Besides this, you can see there is something called horn. So this light has got a fog signal of horn. So it is to warn and caution the navigators that there is a structure, and you have a identification mark also. And what is the character? It is going to blow 2 times every 30 seconds. Besides this, there was one more small character which I had not mentioned, that is RC. Please remember, RC is a radio direction finding tool, which is your radio beacon. Exactly at the same place, if I add the word aero, Alpha, Echo, Romeo, Oscar, aero, that means that beacon is supporting or giving a direction finding to aeroplanes also. But this is mentioned RC, it is for normal nautical radio direction finding. So this was the sector light. I'm going to show you physically on the chart, the same chart, how these different kind of noodled lines, you can see so many things around you, slightly overwhelming. So I'm going to make it easier. I'm going to draw sectors. Please see here. I'm just copying the sectors. So this was a sector, and this sector has got white, which is ISO white. The next sector, I'm going to go clockwise. You can see there's one more sector here, ISO green. What it means is, if your vessel is within this sector of ISO white, you will see that isophase white light coming with the normal whatever character, there's equal on and off. But if your vessel is on the sector for the green, you will see the green isophase. Then again, the next one is a red isophase. Then again, the next is a green isophase again. Then again, I have a red isophase. So this is how the whole horizon is distributed for your color sector. Please remember, Utklipan has got 2 lights. One was the top one, which is a normal white light, which is flashing. But the second light, which is lower, has got a colored sector. So colored sector helps you to identify and tell you where you are. That is advantage of colored sector. And usually you will see the red usually will be involved with those places which has got a lot of dangers, so that a mariner does not go into that sector. So you should avoid approaching that light in that particular sector. That is the logic behind it. Okay? And white is usually the majoritarily approachable. Green also could be. Let us take the second example of this colored sectors. I'm going to take a very nearby light in the same chart, which is your Utlangan. You can see this is the character given to you. Again, this is sector light, but it's group occulting. And you can see this group occulting 2 times, and white, red, and green. So let us quickly have a look on this character also. So this is the light which is given as group occulting. Group occulting 2 times, and it has got a color sector. So occulting means always that white light will be on and it'll just go switch off shortly for 2 times. That is what is group occulting. And since the period is given as 12 seconds, this will get repeated again after 12 seconds. This is the white sector. So what will happen to the red sector? Red light is always on, group occulting 12 seconds. Green light is always on, group occulting in 12 seconds. Now, what is 13 meter? That is the chartered height. It's not very high. It's a shorter lighthouse. Please look at the rest of the 3 figures. White light has got nominal range of 15. As I said, mostly white light always has got the largest range because of outreach. Red light is nominal range is 12, and your green light has got 11 miles of nautical miles range. Now, the same thing, let me make it simpler on the chart. So how it is going to show you on the chart, I'm going to draw some sectors. You can see this is the white sector where you will have group occulting to white color. This is the green sector of group occulting. This is the red sector of group occulting. And this is again a white sector of group occulting. There are 2 more sectors which is just going beyond this screenshot. I'm just painting that for you, but try to understand that I've got 1 more green and red, which is a little bit further on the chart. So I thought this much is enough for you to understand. So these 2 examples, I hope it makes you clear about what do you mean by sector lights with different characters and different rhythms and patterns also. Let me go to the second type of lights, but before that, let us see what is the use of this color sectors practically when you are sailing or in your chart work questions, how it is practically used. I'm just taking a hypothetical lighthouse, white, red, green, and I'm drawing different sectors. So I've shown you a green sector, then there's a red sector, and there's a white sector. As I told you, red sector is usually involved with some dangers around it, so that the navigator does not approach on the red sector. Now, how do I use it? Let us say my vessel is sailing like this. Right now, the vessel is going to see the green color. Let us say it is a flashing green or whatever, it is fixed green, or it could be anything. So I could see green color. The moment the vessel reaches this spot, please remember the color is going to change from green to white. So that means I can use this line as a position line. So that is a fixing tool for me. Now again, as I continue on the vessel, when I cross this line, the color will change from white to red. So I can use that also as a position line. So this is your practical use as well as use in your chart work questions regarding the sector colors. Now, let me go to the second type of lights, which are again slightly confusing, which is your visible and obscured sectors. I'm going to take an example of this island called Lundi Island. We got 2 lights on this. So I got the north light and the south light. Let us start with the south light. You can see south light is the yellow color one. Then towards the north and west of it, you can see there's an island. So island will have maybe quite a good height. I can see around 137 meters shown. So very obviously, you will not be able to see this light in this sector. That means it is dark here. So that is what is written here, south light obscured. That means you will not see the light there. Similarly, the north light on the southern side has got the island. So it will also have an obscured sector. So it is black and dark here. You cannot see that light. And that is why it is called north light obscured. Again, if you see, I got position lines here. So I'm going to quickly show you in the next page how I'm going to use this visible and obscured in my practical life also, and at the same time for my questions. So I'm going to just create one artificial case. Let us say there was a lighthouse here and there were 2 obstructions, 2 islands were obstructions. So I had a sector of visible here, sector of obscured here, again visible sector, and again obscured sector. And my vessel was here. Right now, my vessel could see the lighthouse and started sailing like this. So the moment it reaches this point, please remember the light will change from visible to obscured. So that means I can still use this as a PL. So I again have a position fixing tool, and I can continue and use it as a running fix, or I can use it as a simultaneous fix. So this part two series was purely to uh, highlight how to use these color sectors and visible obscure sectors for beginners basically, but at the same time, anyone can have a look for refreshing recap. Who has not understood for a long time can have a look and take help of this video. I hope it was useful. I'll be coming with more series of this lights now because I need to talk about ranges. Right now, what we did was we talked only about the sectors. So sectors gives you position lines. Please remember range gives you position circles. So the next series of videos will talk about position circles based on the ranges. Until then, keep watching Jal Prayag. I'll catch you soon with the next one. Vanagam, Namaste, Namaskar.